What is going on, traders? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. In this video, I wanted to talk about 3 reasons why the stock market could see a massive rally soon, and what stocks / ETFs should you be focusing on based on this information. I did put out my top 10 stocks for August 2020. I'll link it here. A lot of those stocks are already doing really well, but as you know, the S&P 500 is less than 2% away from all-time highs. And I was saying in my previous analysis videos over the course of the last month or so that it only makes sense now that the S&P 500 actually hits those all-time highs before even seeing a correction. Well, we might not even see a correction. We might hit those highs, see some resistance, and blow past it. So the first reason why the market might see a massive rally is a peak in coronavirus cases. According to Thomas Lee at Fundstrat Global Advisors, the cases for July and August have now peaked, and we are on a 7-day rolling decline in coronavirus cases. The last time we saw this was in April, and 20 days after cases peaked, we saw a massive 30% rally in the stock market. And based on this data, cases peaked on July 24th. So sometime around next week or the week after would be 20 days from that peak. Now, obviously, history doesn't have to repeat itself exactly, but historical data is the best indicator that we have. And now that markets are pushing close to all-time highs, it makes sense that we could see a break of that resistance based on a series of fundamental and technical reasons. And one of those fundamental reasons is Trump signing 4 executive orders over the weekend, which brings me to reason number 2. The reason why the stock market could see a massive rally. Trump signed 4 executive orders on the weekend, the most important one being extending the unemployment benefits until the end of the year. The second executive order has to do with a payroll tax holiday for those Americans earning less than $100,000 a year. They're going to be getting a payroll tax cut. The third executive order is an eviction moratorium where landlords can't evict tenants, and the fourth one is student loan deferred payments. And as we know, there's been quite a few studies that show that the record number of Robinhood accounts that were open during this pandemic lockdown, a lot of those trades were fueled by money that came from stimulus. So we might see that trend continue, and also the market might interpret this stimulus extension as a positive news event and signs that the government is willing to do everything until the economy fully recovers again. Sorry, my camera actually died because the sun overheated it, so now I'm recording on my phone. I'm out here in the desert, by the way, about 2 hours east of LA. I like to come out here maybe like once a month, do some mountain biking, etc. But yeah, reason number 3 why we might see a massive stock market rally. This is the technical portion. And if we take a look at a history of V-shaped recoveries, you know what? I'll actually need to go to my computer for this. It's a lot easier. And then I'll go over the top stocks and ideas that we should be focusing on considering this information about a potential break of all-time highs in the stock market. But first, I definitely need more coffee, so I'm gonna get in my car, get some coffee, and then head over to the computer to complete the video. What is going on, guys? For those of you that have been around the channel for a long time, you know that I actually used to do vlogs like this, or not even vlogs, I used to do videos like this where I would talk about trading and financial topics from the car. Anyway, let's get some coffee. All right, guys, so the third reason why we might see a major rally in the markets that surpasses all-time highs. This is from a Bloomberg article, but basically it studied all of the V-bottoms that have occurred since 1920. You see here 32, 1942, 1946, so on and so forth, and 2009. And I want to talk about 2009 in particular because the financial crisis of 2008-2009, that technically wasn't a V-bottom. It was actually more like a W-shaped recovery. However, I'll get into more detail about this, why this is still a detail or still a fact that holds true regarding V-bottom recoveries. But basically, we see that of all of the V-shaped recoveries that have occurred since 1920, markets tend to recover almost as quickly as they fall. As a matter of fact, they recover on average about 2.5 times faster than they fell. And we are definitely in a V-shaped recovery, or what's looking to be like a V-shaped recovery at the moment. And then I'll get into that little tidbit that I wanted to discuss about 2009. But before I get in this, if you get anything out of this video, go ahead and leave it a thumbs up. I will be doing the sweepstakes at the end of the video where I'm going to pick somebody's comment at random and go all in with their play. So make sure you stick around for that. And leave it in the comment section below. Let me know if you think we're going to surpass all-time highs or not. All right, so looking at the S&P 500, you'll see that we've had actually quite a few V-shaped recoveries, even if they weren't major crashes. Like we did have a correction at the end of 2018. And here is basically what I've seen or what I've concluded, that when we've had a V-shaped recovery, that where we end up meeting all-time highs in the same way that we did in 2018, you could see here that, you know, the rally back up, we basically met all-time highs and then continued further. Now we could see a little bit of a dip after hitting all-time highs, but that's not the point. And currently we see that we're about less than a 1.25% away from all-time highs. And as I've been saying for the last month or so, I believe that we are going to eventually hit all-time highs. And in the case of this video, I feel like we're going to surpass it for the reasons that I've discussed. But if you even take a look at 2009, so let's go all the way back to 2009, for those that think that that was more of a W-shaped recovery. Yes, in 2008 we did have an initial fall from grace, and it looked like we could see a recovery and then another drop. But technically, this right here was the V that was discussed in that article. And in this V-shaped recovery, the moment that we hit the swing highs where we dropped off from and formed that V, that's where we continued to rally upward, right? So yes, I mean, the drop in 2008 was so much worse than the drop that we see now. And overall, that was not a V-shaped recovery, because look at how long it took us to get back to the all-time highs at that point from 07, where we ended up dropping off of a cliff into a market crash that took us over 60% declines. So technically that statistic with this V right here holds true, that when you do form a V and you do hit the swing highs where you fell from, that's when the market continues to rally further. So if we go back to that graphic, this is what it was referring to. It wasn't referring to the financial crisis, the complete financial crisis, that took 2 years to develop. It was talking about the V that was formed in 09 and how quickly after that V was formed and we hit those swing highs, how quickly then we kept on rallying. So that was true for the 2002, 1987, 1982, so on and so forth. And it looks to be forming that way currently. So if we do end up hitting these all-time highs, which I think we are, basically the decline in coronavirus cases, the passage of the stimulus, Trump did sign those executive orders, but it's not really clear whether that's legal or whether he can actually take unilateral action on that, or whether it will take an act of Congress to pass the next round of stimulus. Either way, we know it's going to be passed. It's just a matter of when and whether the executive orders will hold true. So let me just throw that caveat in there. But anyway, it looks like, there's absolutely no reason why we can't finish that quarter, that 1.25%, hit all-time highs, maybe see some resistance, maybe see a little bit of a dip before continuing up. Now, what stocks should you be investing in? As I mentioned, I already did a top stocks for August. Check it out here. But in light of this market situation, what stocks should you be investing in? Well, what has mostly caused the market to rally back up to near all-time highs? If we isolate it by sector, you'll see here that it's really the technology sector. So this is if we isolate the technology sector from the S&P 500, you'll see that we've clearly surpassed all-time highs. This is what's been causing the market rally, because if you take a look at something like the financial sector, this is the financial sector, again, isolated, the financial sector from the S&P 500 isolated. If you take a look at it, you'll see that we're still nowhere near all-time highs. We recovered a bit, but nothing that matches technology. If you take at utilities, again, this is the utilities portion of the S&P 500 isolated. This is XLU. Same thing, it looks just like the financial sector. This right here is XLE, which is the energy sector, and this one looks even more battered than financials and utilities. So while I continue to advocate for buying blue chip technology stocks on the dip, right, your Microsofts, your Apples, your Amazons, your Facebooks, those should be a definite hold in anyone's long-term portfolio. But if the market is going to continue higher, those stocks have already surpassed all-time highs, even pre-pandemic, and they've already reported earnings. So the opportunity is in this epicenter of stocks and sectors that have not yet recovered. So you could even buy something as simple as you could invest in these sectors right through ETFs. So XLE is the sector of the S&P 500 that deals with energy. It's an ETF that you can invest in just like a stock. So I would look at XLE, XLU, which is the utilities one that we discussed. XLF is the financial one. You could just sprinkle some funds across all of these ETFs waiting for a recovery. And then you can invest in individual stocks that are basically recovery stocks, such as travel stocks, airlines, restaurants, retailers. Now, I wouldn't go all in. So, invest according to your budget and your risk profile. But those are the stocks that I would focus on if the market is going to continue higher, because there's only so much that tech can do to drag the entire stock market behind it. All right, that is it for this portion of the video. Let us get into the sweepstakes. I'm going to be picking a comment at random right now, and then I will enter it. Since it's Sunday today, I'm going to enter it as soon as the market opens tomorrow. I'm going to go all in with my Webull account. So let us go ahead and pick a comment right now. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go to my top 10 stocks to buy in August 2020, where a lot of you left comments regarding stocks or option plays that you want me to enter. And let us pick a random comment. Hopefully it's actually stocks or option plays and not somebody cussing me out. All right, so winner, Kirill Volkov. Congratulations, Kirill. Hope I'm saying your name right. He or she says, finally got my TD Ameritrade account and starting to paper trade. We'll do private training with you in September if you have spots. Yes, always welcome. Check back September 1st for spots because we're currently sold out. And for those that don't know, I do one-on-one training. I teach technical analysis. I teach options trading. So sign up if you want access. There's no more spots left, but there will be spots opening up on September 1st. So he or she says, if you KL for sweepstakes. So of course they're talking about Kirkland Lake Gold, which was one of my top stocks. So I will enter KL with about $1,000 that I have in my Webull account. And if you want 2 free stocks, sign up to Webull below. Congratulations, Kirill. On Monday, I will enter. Looks like I can buy somewhere around 20 shares with $1,000 of KL. So I will do that by the end of the month. If there's any profit, I will give it to you. So get in touch with me on the Discord or email me. All my info is in the description below. And for those that don't know, I do this every month. So check back next month at the beginning of the month and we'll be doing the sweepstakes again. Sign up if you want access to the trade alerts where I send out my stocks, options, crypto trades. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, give it a thumbs up if you get anything out of this video. Leave it in the comments section below. Let me know if you think we're going to hit all-time highs or not, or surpass all-time highs. Stay safe out there, traders. Peace.